Faith has a genealogy. You just got a piece of it. Huh? Boy, look what time is. Time goes by so fast, my God. Go ahead, you better wrap this up. I'll be here at 3 o'clock. I love it where it says the Spirit of God was upon the deep. Sometimes your mess is pretty deep. And the longer you've been in it, the deeper it is. This week, God woke me up with an urgency for someone that I know very little. That's the sound I'm going to say. I know him very little. Casually, I know him. I met him, I think, 2 or 3 times. God gave me an exact word. All right? I found out from Nathaniel that he worked with Kevin at the depot. So I sent Kevin a message. He called me back right away. You can take it from there.
He explained to me that God had woke him up and given him this word for this young man, and I wrote it all down in my notebook that I carry. I know that sounds a little weird to some of you, I think, but you know, I wrote it down on the paper there because I knew it was important that we get it right and get the right word to. I could feel the oracle. The oracle, the life cycle oracle was there. The burden was there. The time constraint was there on the burden.
I was burdened.
Yes, and that, and I took up that burden with him because I felt it when he conveyed this to me.
How's Jerusalem, Nehemiah? I turned to someone I could trust because I couldn't go.
Whew.
Just got that, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, I turned to my servant. He said, the urgency. Wait till you hear what he does with it. Go ahead.
And I knew the urgency was there, and that day I could not make contact with this man. I couldn't get to him. So the next morning, the first thing I did was went to another brother.
Did I call you again?
Yes.
What'd I tell you?
You asked me if it had been delivered yet, that it was still burdening you, it's still weighing on you, and you needed to get that clear. And I was there with you. I could feel the burden. I could feel the pressure. It's got to get there in time. And so I couldn't make contact with him. And the next day, we'd tried to get in touch with him. He was supposed to come over at a certain time, and he didn't. He wasn't able to make it. So I took the word and put it in the hands of another brother that he and I both know.
From where?
From Gadsden. I know him through work, and I also know him through delivering a prophetic word to him a year and a half ago that was not received until after he saw the results of it and had to go back and go the hard way through it. But this was a brother that I trusted and knew that he would do the right thing, and I gave him the instruction and conveyed the urgency to him, you know, that this has got to get to him today. You know, I'm not going to be around over here to see him at lunch. Can you put this in his hand and text me or call me as soon as he gets it so that I know, so that I can pass that information on to Jack, so that the life cycle oracle can be fulfilled, so that we'll know that it made it there, that the word got there. Okay? So he delivered it. And the
Found him, man.
Yeah, he found him. He came to see him and put it in his hands, and you know, and it was right on time. It was just exactly the time that he needed to hear it, and it was the exact word that he needed to hear at that time, handed to him by the right person. There was no mistaking God's plan on that. We discovered that. Did
he call you back?
Yes, he called me back.
He asked for your phone number.
Mm-hmm. he gave me his phone number too. So
And he called you back and he said,
he said, "Thank you. That was right on point on the word. It was exactly what he was experiencing, exactly what he needed to hear, and so that he didn't make the wrong move, go the wrong way, do the wrong thing there at that time, and he wasn't swayed by other people around him. He wasn't led astray by other people around him. He was overcome by it, and he was very thankful, very appreciative of the man of God following the instruction that God had given him and listening to that word and getting it to him and doing it. And the word may have seemed simple to a lot of people. Simple. But that's how God works. That's how God works. And what may seem simple to you may be very profound to the person that needs to hear that, just like it was.
now get to the nugget.
To the nugget.
Get to the nugget.
with
The man who delivered the word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came back and shared that word with the young man that put it in his hand, and because they had been talking about this decision, you know, that he was contemplating, and this young man was able to share with him to follow the instruction. Follow the instruction. He was able to share that from experience because he had missed the mark before. He had had instruction that he didn't follow, that he didn't listen to, that he didn't believe, that he didn't value, that he didn't practice. And he was able to share that information with him and share the importance of listening to what he was told and to following the instruction. Come on, this young man has the substance.
Guess what the problem was? The man who got the message had the same problem
Mm-hmm.
that the man who delivered the message had a year and a half ago.
Right.
Did you hear what I said? He had something to share. Look, I got a word too. I didn't listen to it. Don't learn the way I did.
Right.
Kevin had enough discernment to put it in his hand. Think about this. Think about the life cycle of this word. From me, from God to me, to him, to a young man named Michael, to this brother. 5. Don't you know that that young man, Michael, who delivered that word to that young man, went away shaking his head? Huh? That word shook him clear on down to his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
When God speaks, the foundations of heaven and earth shake.
Mm.
They shake.
Mm.
The mountains bow down. And the high spots become low. And the trees all wave their hand.
Mm.
Huh? Faith has a genealogy. Faith has substance. You never knew in Genesis 1:1 that God was discovering, this was detailing to you faith. You didn't know that until this morning, did you?
Mm.
So God speaks from faith
To faith.
and everything in between is faith.
Mm.
Because that's how you please him. Last comment.
Don't miss the fact about how important the instructions are. This young man at work had the, like I said, he had the material, he had the means, he had the substance. Didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know what to do with it. It was fixing to produce death in his life and everyone around him. It was going to produce death in his life and everyone around him. I don't think he understands that yet. I don't think he knows that yet. But when the instruction came, when the instruction comes, now he knows what to do with the substance that he has. Now he knows how to apply the works to that substance to produce life. Life in himself and everyone around him. Listen to the instruction. The blessing is in the instruction.
Treasure is in the instruction.
Yes.
Proverbs 2. I want to say this to you too. I was not God's first choice to deliver this word.
Amen.
I wasn't.
Amen.
I was what you would call a last resort. That's right. Yeah. A last resort. You never know what you're going to hear when you bow before the King. Never.
Amen.
You never know what he's going to say. Because faith cometh by hearing. Wow. We ain't even talked about that yet.
No.
How many of you like your chart here?
Amen.
A little easier for you to understand? Well, now you know where we're going to be going Sunday to Sunday. Yeah, it's going to get heavy in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rain up in here. Right? So now you know where we're going to go. When God gives you a word, take the time, look at the genealogy of it. I hear so many people say, well, God gave me a word. Okay, and what was the word? Well, I don't remember all of it, but I just remember, you remember what you want to hear. Huh. You remember what you want to hear. No. Not selective hearing. It's indicative hearing. You hear it from the author's perspective, not through your experience. Huh? Don't be in such a hurry to tell people what they should be doing. Especially when they can look across the field and go, kudzu? No, that's grapes. Really? Then you wonder why they won't listen to you.